people would perceive what I'm saying as art. Like when people listen to this earlier, they're gonna think we're arguing.
No, we weren't arguing.
And I'm not. I'm legit not arguing. And y'all use words like passionate as a nice way of saying this angry. That's what people. When people say passionate, when people call you passionate, they're trying to nicely call you an angry black person, an angry black man, or whatever. So when y'all say passionate, basically you're trying to say I'm angry, and I'm not angry. I'm literally just showcasing this level of emotion about the debate that I believe that we're
in
having.
Your head,
and I'm trying to win. It's
not
in my head because the other person is just as elevated as me. I'm just saying I'm keeping score about the debate in my head.
I got you. Okay.
But our energies are equal. Just like earlier, we were equal. You saying you wasn't arguing or debating with me, but you were elevated, and then you told me.
I'm not saying I wasn't elevated, but I agree. Just because you're elevated doesn't mean that you're
matching,
arguing.
right? So we were not arguing. We were debating.
Yeah, I don't argue.
And then you decided you didn't want to participate no more.
No, I participated. It was just pointless.
In the rest of it, right? You decided
it was
at one point. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
So,
I'm saying that people are misperceiving the amount of passion I put into a debate, and just assuming that I'm legitimately angry about what is being taught about.
How do you feel about that?
It don't bother me. I don't. That don't piss me off.
Got you.
It don't.
Lace.
I know what he's doing.
I tell you what.
I know what he's doing.
You know what you be doing. You know what he's doing.
It's fine.
What did I do?
I know what he's doing, bro.
You know what you doing, bro.
Yo, welcome to the cave with Mel, Troy, and Lace. The podcast with men that have a safe space. We on all platforms. You need to tune in, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Welcome to Melody, the podcast with men that have a safe space. Welcome to Melody. Welcome to the cave with Mel, Troy, and Lace.
You have a very closed-minded moral stance on certain things, and you act like you want to hear different perspective, but instead of actually taking that in for consideration, you really just draw a line on what you stand on and what you believe, and that's perfectly
Isn't that
fine.
what we're supposed to do as people? Draw a line on what we believe? I think you can. But why would I compromise my belief just to hear?
What I'm saying, beliefs can also be shifted with more information.
Or I can hear more information, and it could further cement my beliefs.
Which is true.
Okay, so then what the hell are we talking about?
Welcome, everybody. It's your boy, T-Dot Roy, your neighborhood hope dealer.
Why do we got to make this so difficult, bro?
I got some you can borrow. Make sure you like,
you just have your own way of
subscribe, and follow.
What it do, though? It's your boy, Dr. Life Coach Lace, a.k.a. NBA Old Boy, a.k.a. I'm him, a.k.a. the menace no relation to Dennis.
What's going on, man? It's your boy, Melly Mel, a.k.a. Melly Badass, a.k.a. Favorite Truth Teller, a.k.a. if you don't want to know, don't ask me.
Which you all have stumbled upon is a continued conversation.
I don't even know how we still talking about this.
It's because people keep bringing it up.
I keep bringing it up, and we're not going to talk about it on this episode. We're going to talk about other things,
something
that needs to be talked about.
But it's the same concept no matter what we're talking about. Like the situation of two strongly opinionated people on a topic where both have their cemented belief about a situation, and it's unchanged.
Right, and I'm not trying to change. I'm not trying to change.
You never trying to change nobody. You just trying
no. I mean, all you can do is
he's
inform.
always trying to educate people too. In some
is that
way.
not what
Melvin? That is condescending.
But that's fine.
What you're saying is truthful. Find a different way to say it.
No, it's fine. He ain't got to change that.
But it's truthful because what you think you're doing by giving people more information. You ain't trying to change nobody's thoughts or ways, but I'm just gonna give you this information just so you can have it for you to know. Because if you want trying to change me or anybody, you just let them do whatever the hell they want to do.
Which you can do, and personally, that's fine. Nobody gives a damn. You go do what you do. What I'm saying is there can be some education that is provided that gives you a new lens on how you process and have an understanding of the experiences of others. That's all that I'm saying. So it's not about changing you in any way.
And I think
so you do you, boo.
The issue is that people think that the only way...
You keep saying people. Who is people?
The general public, which is who you keep advocating for every time we have these conversations.
I'm not advocating for anyone.
You are, because it's not for you specifically. You're speaking on behalf of a group.
I think you have a very interesting mindset when you think that people are trying to change you. Nobody's trying to change you, Melvin. You said people 5 times.
People because
he's being general, Lace.
Because he's
doing
being general.
To him what
he's being general, so I'm being general in the conversation. People are largely trying to change another group by providing them more information and education, as we talked about.
And what is wrong with that?
essentially what happens is both parties are sharing
I didn't
information.
say that nothing was wrong with it. I just said that you can't be sitting here saying I ain't trying to change nobody, all while trying to give them more information as a potential opportunity for them to change or have a different lens based on the information that they're given. So to some degree, you are trying to reshape or change actions, behaviors, and
I would
thought
disagree
process
with
by
that.
providing more information. Because if you weren't, you just keep the information to yourself.
Yeah,
It'd
or
just be
I could
like,
just simply say I want to educate you, so you have.
why are you trying to educate me?
Why not?
I'm just saying
because you
right
obviously
now,
are
because
misinformed. So I'm
I'm
trying
not
to
misinformed.
educate you. You
See,
are.
that's the thing.
You are misinformed.
That's the thing. Disagreement, and misinformed are not synonyms.
I know.
So just because I'm not agreeing with you, don't mean I'm misinformed.
I don't
or
mind you not
ill-informed.
agreeing with me. I don't give a
So
damn
I'm
about
not,
that.
Lace. I'm not. Lord have mercy.
You said I'm saying you're directing the
Now
conversation.
you're being
to me.
slow.
I'm not being
If
slow.
we talk about being slow.
I'm just
being slow.
stating the facts. I'm not trying.
I'm saying
there's no disagreement here.
Overarchingly, a lot of times the tone is you're misinformed or you're
Let's find the word.
I don't know what word I want to use, so I'll just stick with misinformed.
Ignorant, maybe?
Not ignorant, but it's more so the only way. Okay, usually the only way that people feel that something has been heard or understood is if you agree. If I agree with the information that you've given me, now to you, there is some understanding, there is some progress, there is some whatever. And a lot of times what I'm telling you is that I hear what you're saying. I have all of the information. And despite your lived experience or what you're sharing with me, I don't agree with what you're saying. And
that's
because
fine.
I'm not agreeing with what you're saying, then you say things like, oh, this person is closed-minded, or you're closed-minded, or you're whatever. No, my mind is open to what you're saying, and I've gotten the information, and based on the information that you've provided me, I've come to the conclusion or made the assessment that I disagree, or I don't agree, or I don't want to further open the box of that conversation.
And that's all good.
That doesn't mean that I don't understand your experience, and a lot of times people feel like the experience is not understood unless you agree.
Right.
And if you agree, then I feel like you understood me.
And
that's all.
I think you're taking my philosophy totally wrong. That's not what I'm saying. When I say that there's a closed-minded nature, that is more so speaking on how you respond to the information that is giving. It's very combative. It is very, maybe combative is the wrong word, but it's very, well, if this, why that type thing. So that's what I mean by a misinformed. I don't give a damn whether you agree, disagree, whatever. I'm just presenting this is a level of information. This is what I believe. You don't have to agree with it at all, because that's just the nature of the world that we live in. So it's not a trying to shift, it's just more so literally, when I say educating, I'm just giving information. What you choose to do with that is your prerogative. We can disagree all day, every day. It's not going to change how I view you, not going to change how you view me, and we keeping it pushing. And that's my philosophy on having conversations or whatever, because I'm not gonna lose no sleep over what we've discussed today, and vice versa. So I think there's a misconception in the fact that there has to be a level of agreement, because that's just not how I operate, and that's not my philosophy in regards to engaging in these kinds of conversation.
I appreciate that response, but I wasn't referring to you specifically.
Oh, I know you weren't referring to me. I'm just retorting what was stated.
My follow-up question to this statement that you made was, in what way should I respond to education that's being received, or or information that people are providing me based on their beliefs or whatever it is? Because
run that back.
You said that it's the way that I respond to the information that's being given to me. So what way do you feel like I should respond?
Sure.
Because right now, all I do is challenge people's thoughts. Like, I challenge what you're telling me. If you're saying that's what you believe in, I'm going to ask you why. What's your basis? What's your foundation? Where did you get that from? Why?
That is.
So then, if
great,
that is
great
improper to you,
great question.
how do you feel like?
Are you asking this of me specifically?
I mean, yeah, because you were the one who said
Lace,
to me,
you being
like,
condescending.
look. No, because you were the one who said to me directly, based on how I respond.
So
to the
what
information
I'm saying is, the way that you posed the follow up, I would like to know why. Can you help me understand your framework? Can you help me understand how you landed on this particular belief system? amazing. That would have been great. That's dialogue.
Mhm.
When it comes to sometimes talking to you on whatever the subject matter may be, it is a buzzwords, using buzzwords. What does that mean? What does that, like, those kind of things? It's combative.
So it's my
And-
posture.
No, it's not necessarily about posture. I'm saying, like, the approach, it can be considered. I know you, so I don't take it as that. But if you were in a different setting, oh, this nigga combative. Somebody need to come. This don't, like, I can't. This nigga combative. Like, so that's more so what I mean. But if you simply say, well, help me understand the why behind that, or what framework did you use to gather this information, or if you say, oh, that's the 1%, but 99% believe this, help me break that down for me, or whatever. That kind of thing is how you have a dialogue with somebody. But if I say, oh, this buzzword, like all that, like that kind of thing, that can be considered combative, particularly when somebody is sharing their perspective on a matter that you all are discussing collectively.
So you just think I should have a softer tone?
I don't care about your tone. It
I'm
doesn't
just-
bother
nigga,
me. What I'm
See
saying,
what happened when you give an opportunity to give you constructive criticism and feedback.
I didn't
and
know
then
that's
they
what you
enter-
were.
and
I
they
didn't know that's
enter
what
it
you
with
were.
a situation. You know what I'm saying?
What I'm
Like
saying,
I gave him a window.
And that window was closed.
You know what I'm saying?
'Cause he right back to it.
You know what I mean? You got a short period of time to get me to buy into what you talk about. Lay's about to lose it.
Melvin, well, here's the thing. That was a great question. Great response. And you got to understand, though, is that not all things can be answered very quickly and immediately. And so...
So what I'm saying is, to answer your question, how you shift is around the words that create a lack of understanding in which when you are responding in a dialogue. So as I stated earlier, if you would have led with, well, Lacey, I don't agree with you, but it helped me understand the why, your framework, this, that, and the third, that's simple. That's easy. But when you say, like, well, this is why I don't believe in XYZ, like, is that not combative? is that not combative in
So
nature?
you want me to have a softer tone? Basically.
You're basing it on
No.
a singular thing. It
No.
is, even if you said that in a soft tone, well, this is why I don't believe in XYZ. That's still
so I
combative.
said my posture. You said no.
It's not physical posture.
Not like sliding down, slouching in the chair, Lace, but like posture, meaning like
You seem like you really don't want to know.
stance on.
I'll say it was more so approach. So what Lace is basically saying is when someone presents you with information that you don't agree with, continue the conversation inquisitively.
Mhm.
So, for instance, I believe the sky is red. Oh, I perceive the sky to be blue. Can you tell me how you got to being red? Well, when you add these colors up, okay, I don't think, to me, that I don't understand that, but can you explain it a little bit further? You know what I'm saying? Like being more inquisitive about them while still stating how you feel, and then not drawing an immediate conclusion to saying like, this is BS. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be BS, total BS.
So if it is though,
If it is, let them
let them
explain their
still go through
BS
the
away.
BS and be quiet.
Let them explain it.
Okay,
It's basically allowing people to be
stupid. I got you. Let them be stupid. It's fine.
That's not what
I'm listening.
That's not what I'm saying.
I got you. Troy said,
Obviously,
let people be stupid. You
I-
said,
No,
create a softer tone.
I didn't say
with
I didn't
myself
say,
a
I
little
didn't
bit.
say-
Be more inquisitive in my questioning. I do ask questions, but don't ask them so abrasively and combatively when people are presenting me information that I may disagree with.
and I want you
I'm
to
listening to what you say. I'm being condescending, but I'm listening to what you're saying.
don't be condescending.
Don't be condescending.
Don't be
All
condescending.
right. I'm listening. I'm just.
And
all I'm
asked.
saying
and
is-
what happens is even though a person could be right about a situation, about a topic, or whatever, the moment that they present themselves in, for lack of better words, abrasive type of function or way, it diminishes from the actual conversation or the point that's trying to be made. You know what I'm saying? Even though they may be right. Like in the previous episodes when Lace was trying to get his point across, he went from high to he went from matching your energy to be like, I'm not gonna match his energy. Let me draw back.
Mm-hmm.
Let me be more calm as far as like how I'm saying things, so I can be able to be here and not just be internally, but just be in the room.
Mm.
So yeah.
Okay. Don't talk loud. Don't talk loud. Be in the room.
Why you?
Be less. You know. I'm taking all these things in. Y'all saying
But
all these
nobody-
eloquent words, but I'm getting to the root of what you're trying to tell
But
me,
that's
bro.
not the root. That's also
It is like all he just told me basically to dumb down my passion in the conversation so I could be in the room and not be so emotional. Be a little bit less abrasive. That's exactly what
I don't
he
want to
just
say.
described.
I don't want to say dumb down because that I don't want to take away from your passion, because your passion has legitimacy to it. So I don't want to say dumb down. I would more so say, in the sense of channeling that energy in a way that will present itself
productive. Because again, if I don't know how you have conversations with other people, the fact that we know each other and we can do that.
Mhm.
But like, again, if I didn't know you from a can of paint and I saw you respond like that based upon the conversation, yeah, he need somebody call 911 because he's angry. So that's just my stance on it. And again, if we know that we're not gonna agree, we just don't even have to discuss it. That's another way of avoiding back and forth.
when
I'm saying we can have a dialogue, but if it's going to be a debate, I'm not gonna debate nobody. That just ain't it for me.
Now I will give you that. There are not many hills that I'm willing to die on.
That's what I'm saying. So we can have a dialogue in which we can disagree and not be disagreeable. Simply we talking through, you share how you feel, I share how I feel, points are provided or whatever, because you provided points too as to why you feel the way that you feel. I provided points in how I feel the way that I feel. But if it's gonna be a complete, we debating now, you feel like I'm trying to change you for what? I mean, that's not gonna happen, because I believe what I believe, you believe what you believe, but we can have a friendly dialogue around it.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you interpret that?
I heard what he said.
Oh, okay.
Being more willing to present what I'm saying in a way that seems as though it's producing a conversation and not a back and forth about two people who ain't gonna change their mind about what they're talking about. Basically, he's saying the way that I have conversations is combative and more of a debate and less of a dialogue and conversation. That is open.
It's in that particular aspect. Because we have numerous conversations and it's not like
you know what I'm saying. So I'm just legit was asking.
Yeah, no, but you're very passionate.
Hear that quite a bit,
I mean?
and I am passionate. That's not going to stop. And I think sometimes my passion is confused with hatred or whatever it may be. Because
you hate
I just
them.
feel like
You hate them.
Lace, quit saying that, bro. I've been telling you that for the past several episodes. Quit saying that.
I'm saying in general because
I told you to stop.
Because I am more willing to have I'm just more willing to be passionate about it. Whereas like Lace was willing to retreat from it and be like, I ain't gonna get into a debate with him. I'll die on every hill that we have a conversation about, because I'll die about it. And most people not willing to die about everything that they talk about. And I am. And that's why I am passionate, and that's why the conversations come out the way that they come across. But I will say that I am more open to dialogue when I feel like people are actually listening to what I'm saying and they're being intentful about what I'm saying and not just calling me nutty or saying whatever it is that they're blah, 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 blah. And as soon as I sense that you are not also giving me the same thing that you want me to give you, it turns into a debate. And at that point, my passion is going to elevate. I may come off combative and abrasive or whatever it is.
But can I ask you a question? Can perception be wrong?
Yeah, perception can be wrong. I say that all the time. Perception is not reality.
Do you think that your perception of that dialogue triggered you thinking that it was a debate because it was not a debate?
No, I'm not saying. I didn't say that you made.
I know. I'm just
using
it as an example in general.
So, like what you were talking about, you're saying being open to additional thoughts and whatever it is. If you're saying to do that in my direction, meaning when you give me information, I'm to remain open-minded and blah 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 blah. But then when I turn it around to you, if it doesn't agree with what you're saying, you do in turn the opposite of what you're asking me to do. You close your mind off to what I'm saying because it doesn't agree with what you're saying. And then to me, now this is a debate.
That's a good point.
Right.
This is
I understand
this
that.
is not a
But
conversation.
what I'm saying,
anymore.
if you base that off of perception, one's perception can be skewed, because I'm just using our conversation in the previous episode as an example.
Mhm.
I heard everything that you said. I disagree, but I heard everything that you said, but I don't think I posed anything that would make you feel like I wasn't hearing you. So if you base it on your perception or how you feel, that can be skewed.
Okay, here's how this is not perception, and this is could be used as a indicator that this person is not indeed practicing open communication. If I give you information that you want to me just to accept and receive, and I give you information and you give me an alternative to every piece of information that I've given you. Like, so for example, you make a point to me, I say that's a valid point, that's a good point, I hear what you're saying. Here's also something I may be thinking, and I say to you something that is a point, and you go, but you got to consider blank. You got to add in.
That is true.
You got to add in.
Yeah.
And never in that conversation are you saying that is a valid point that you're making, but can you also have to consider X, Y, Z. You're not doing that. You just going, but what about, but also add, don't forget.
So you
the
need
nuance.
You need
The
affirmation.
nuance. No, it's not
no.
an affirmation. If you're not, it's
I'm
affirmation.
tracking with you. I'm tracking
It's
with
not
you.
an affirmation. You're literally doing the opposite of what because you're not even trying to hear what I'm saying. You're trying to further submit the viewpoint and information that you've already given me by adding other additional pieces that you think I'm missing because of what I'm saying. I've already heard what you said, and I'm giving. See, here you go. I would disagree.
I would disagree with that.
I would disagree with that.
And the reason why I say that is because there may not be that direct affirmation given, but if I'm already down the line because I've heard what you said, I'm using my logic because I'm already there, and
So
we talking about something else. So no, I've heard everything that you said.
So
and
you're
I
not
understand. No, that is being open. I just don't need to rehash.
So you're not open.
Are you
I
gonna
just had this conversation with Troy earlier.
You gonna keep repeating that, or you gonna let me speak? What I'm saying is, we're having a conversation. I share with you, you share with me, and I'm further down the road because I've heard everything that you have stated, and I understand everything that you stated. Now I'm providing different context to support both perspectives,
But
or
you're
even
not
a
supporting
singular
both
perspective.
perspectives. You're supporting
can.
your further perspective with
necessarily.
alternative thoughts and ideas.
Not necessarily, because like even with our conversation, you saying that it was apples to apples. No, I agree with you. No, it's not apples to apples. It's different. It's nuanced. As I stated earlier, it's not apples to apples, but there are some components that do feed into that can support both.
You actually didn't state that earlier.
I didn't state it verbatim in that way. No, I said earlier that it wasn't apples to apples. I said that earlier on the previous episode.
You said it wasn't apples to
Yeah,
apples.
I said that on the previous episode. I promise you. We can go back.
He did
and
say
look.
it was,
Yeah.
but he didn't also. But to your point, he also didn't confirm.
That's what I'm saying.
or
It wasn't
affirm.
the
Yeah.
affirmation. I didn't say the affirmation, but I was, again, how you think down the line, I was down the line.
Mm.
So I wasn't going to repeat that.
But you do bring up a good point, like and this is no one in this room, but whenever I hear someone say you have to be open-minded, but then I share my opinion that goes against that person who said be open-minded,
They close right up.
and then they're like, well, you can't
You're an
think
idiot.
like that. And it's like, wait, hold on. I thought open-minded is supposed to be open
Right. Yeah, for sure. Agreed.
to everybody, but then I'm excluded in this open-mindedness because
Correct.
I'm opposed.
Well,
And I've had to face that myself too. I've said to be open-minded. Someone say something else, and I'm like, I don't rock with that. I don't think that's. And I've been on trying to be a proponent for open-mindedness. I've been closed-minded to people who've tried to give me more information. And so I've seen it done to me, and I've done it to other people. And I don't think the concept of being open-minded is a real thing. Because the moment that you're open-minded, but you exclude one thing, then you're not open-minded at all.
See, for me, the concept of being open-minded is I'm going to take this information, I'm going to think about the information, process the information, and I can still land on a level of agreement or disagreement, but I was open to receiving the information and how it was presented. Not I have to respond in the moment to say, oh, I'm open to whatever you're throwing out there because it's what you believe. No, being open-minded to something is, okay, you gave me some new information I didn't know about. Now I can choose to apply that in my life or apply that to the concept that is being discussed in any way or not. But being open-minded is receiving the information that I did not have context or have an understanding of.
Oh,
So that's what I'm saying as far as being open-minded. It's not we got to agree.
Yeah.
No, that's agreement. That's not being open-minded. That's we agree on a certain thing. But if I'm open-minded to it, that means no. I hear what you're saying. I can consider that as I move or make decisions moving forward with that newfound information.
We just said the same thing.
I've never heard open-mindedness be defined the way you just defined it. And if that how you defined it is the true definition, I rock with that.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's how other people see it.
That may be so.
I think as a society, open-mindedness is you have to agree with me. And if the moment that you don't agree with me, then you're just being closed-minded to your own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, that could definitely be a societal norm. But like for me, like I like this. Oh, I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe if you tried this, you might like it.
Mm-hmm.
I might consider that. That's being open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
But to say, oh, I don't like that, I'm never go whatever, or I can't rock with you because now you closed-minded. I don't view it that way. I think you have to take information or whatever, experiences, process it, and you see how that fits into your overall philosophy and scenario.
Mm. I rock with that definition.
Yeah, I'm just that's my definition. But you know, if you choose to use it, great.
because as I didn't get a chance to say this earlier, but like when information is being shared by two unmovable parties, I'm not moving from my stance. I'm not moving from my stance. The people, of course, you're not going to change each other. The person who is affected or who can potentially change is always the person in the middle. And it just so happens that I'm sitting right in between the two of you all, and I'm in the middle. I'm willing to hear the different things that people say, and so I think it's important that we all share our thoughts and opinions because there are some people who are still trying to formulate the way that they think or are open-minded, willing to hear different information, can have the opportunity to make better sound decisions.
Sure, I mean, and that's why we're lifelong learners.
I don't like y'all. Because y'all two are so condescending. Oh my gosh.
We are. That's what makes our conversation.
And the crazy part about it is the condensation that you be like be given is that it has some truth in it. Like what you just said, yeah, we're just lifelong learners. I am a lifelong learner.
Right.
But you ain't had to say it like that.
Okay, I got you. So it was my tone.
Exactly. See, that's how I be feeling.
It was my answer.
See?
It was my answer.
See? That's how I be feeling. That's how I be feeling. It was my tone. Yeah. See?
No, I was.
I know he was being planned, but that's how I be feeling.
My God. I don't know how y'all. I can't get to that high level of communicating back and forth with somebody and then be like, all right, brother, I'll holler at you later, man. Next time, you know what I'm saying? I can't do that.
Why?
My emotions are attached to are attached at all moments. I can't detach like instantly, like just like that. I can't. It's hard for me, and I'm not. And maybe I'm gifted, or maybe y'all gifted. Maybe I'm gifted in the sense that I can feel my emotions all the time, or y'all are gifted that you could detach and be able to compartmentalize or whatever the case may be. But it's hard for me to do that, bro.
I think that's the part that be confusing people. When I'm having conversations, because I'm not emotional. I'm literally arguing it objectively. No, listen to what I'm telling you. See, look how you raised your.
It was my
I'm
posture.
not. Yeah,
It was my posture.
yeah. See, look.
It was my posture.
Y'all think people. I'm gonna say y'all because the way he looked is how a bunch of people who know me is gonna respond when I said that statement. Y'all think that I'm being emotional because of how y'all perceive emotions. I'm literally arguing objectively. Like, I'm just arguing the point of the situation, and I'm showing passion about it because I feel we're in a debate and I'm trying to win. I'm not emotional in the sense that when this is over with, I'm ready to throw fisticuffs with you or cut you off, or we're gonna do this with our lives or whatever it may be. Because when it's over, we're gonna move on to something else, and I'll be passionate about that too when we done with the argument.
Yeah.
And then I move on to something. But most people would perceive me as like, oh, this is extremely angry and emotional about what's going on. That's why we need to call 911. And I'm like, I'm just passionately debating this situation. You'll know if I'm really.
Yeah, can I just ask a question though?
Yeah.
Why do you have to use rhetoric like arguing or winning an argument? Like, what is there to win in a
That's
dialogue?
a good question.
In a debate?
Or a debate
if
or
we're
dialogue?
debating, the goal is to win.
But who states that? Who states that?
I feel like that's how all debate competitions work.
What I'm saying, but who states that they're? I mean, if we're talking about debate competition, they're asking questions
on this topic, and one has to provide
right. And there's a point system and judges, etc.
Exactly. I'm keeping score in my head.
So it's an internal thing.
If you keep it, if you turn
it's
it
an internal. You answered it. You answered it.
Are you biased in your score?
You answered it.
No, I'm actually not biased in the score. I'm not biased in the score. I'll know when I'm losing the debate. You'll see me. I'll turn my antics.
Oh, I know when you lose.
Right, but I'm not
I'm
not being emotional in the sense of how like people would perceive what I'm saying as art. Like when people listen to this earlier, they're gonna think we're arguing.
No, we weren't arguing.
And I'm not. I'm legit not arguing. And y'all use words like passionate as a nice way of saying this angry. That's what people. When people say passionate, when people call you passionate, they're trying to nicely call you an angry black person, an angry black man, or whatever. So when y'all say passionate, basically you're trying to say I'm angry, and I'm not angry. I'm literally just showcasing this level of emotion about the debate that I believe that we're
in
having.
Your head,
and I'm trying to win. It's not
head,
in my head because the other person is just as elevated as me. I'm just saying I'm keeping score about the debate in my head.
I got you. Okay.
But our energies are equal. Just like earlier, we were equal. You saying you wasn't arguing or debating with me, but you were elevated, and then you told me.
I'm not saying I wasn't elevated, but I agree. Just because you're elevated doesn't mean that you're
matching,
arguing.
right? So we were
not
arguing. We were debating.
Yeah, I don't argue.
And then you decided you didn't want to participate no more.
No, I participated. It was just pointless.
In the rest of it, right? You decided
it
at
was
one point. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
So,
I'm saying that people are misperceiving the amount of passion I put into a debate, and just assuming that I'm legitimately angry about what is being taught.
How do you feel about that?
It don't bother me. I don't. That don't piss me off.
Got you.
It don't.
Lace.
I know what he's doing.
I tell you what.
I know what he's doing.
You know what you be doing. You know what
he's doing. It's fine.
What did I do?
I know what he's doing, bro.
You know what you doing, bro.
What did I do? I'm literally asking a question.
Lace is not I'm going to knock you out with a haymaker type guy. He's one of those type of guys. I'm just gonna keep throwing these little quick.
I'm
jabs.
a technician.
He a little Philly shell.
Yeah,
he got a little Philly shell to him.
I'm a technician.
It's fine.
Yeah, I was just curious because you, like I said, you throw out certain words, and I'd be like, well, nobody said that you were angry, but now I understand from your
Y'all
definition.
do be saying I'm angry.
No, you are angry black man. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But we don't consistently say that. We say that like jokingly, or if there's a topic that we're discussing, whatever. But like you equated passion to anger when I don't think that your passion is anger. So it's just interesting to hear your perspective on those words and how they all intersect.
I can tell how y'all perceive me by the words that you use in my direction.
Like what?
So when you tell me like, oh, we don't consistently call you an angry black man, blah blah blah. Y'all be calling me angry all the time.
No, we don't.
Yes, y'all don't think that y'all do that.
Be open-minded.
No, y'all don't.
Taking the information.
You're right.
Taking the information.
Y'all don't think that y'all do that, but I mean, you do say it jokingly, but you do use angry black man in my direction, or like angry in my direction, or they be like, y'all, this male angry, this male, like y'all do that all the time.
Okay,
y'all do that. People don't know that they're saying that to me, but they are. Y'all are saying that and I'm like, you'll know when I'm angry. Mm-hmm. Y'all all know the difference when I'm actually angry and when I'm being elevated or whatever it is. And I know how y'all are perceiving what I'm doing and saying by the words that y'all use in my direction.
So angry is one. What's another one?
Crazy. Nutty.
Yeah, I know I hadn't called him crazy. I hadn't called him crazy in a long time.
But you did it though.
I did. No, I acknowledge the fact that I did it, but
people call me.
It's not consistent. It's not consistent.
It's not lace. It's consistent. Like closed-minded.
Mm-hmm.
argumentative, combative, blah blah blah. All those words. That's not new information to me. New words that people have used in my direction.
So do you think
Because of
any
how
of
they
it? Do you think
perceive
any
blah,
of it
blah,
is
blah.
true?
Based on the definitions that y'all are using to categorize those things, I think they would be true to y'all.
I'm talking to you, sir.
No, I don't think that I'm combative.
Okay.
I don't think that I am an angry black man per se. per se.
Why you put the head
right,
down?
Because you know what angry black man is. Y'all know definition of angry black man, and that when I look at angry black man, I don't see Melvin Brown as angry black man, but I do know that I am no stranger to anger. It just so happens that I'm black and a man. So then you put those things together.
But you're right though.
You know there's a certain subset of people who are categorized as angry black men. And it is not necessarily based on the disposition of that they have an anger problem. It's all the stuff that's associated to it.
And it's not fair, to be honest with you. It's when a man who is black is passionate and they automatically get categorized as this, and then everything they say or do is written off.
Yes.
Sure. No, I agree.
And that's why people don't listen to me most of the time, because of how they already perceive me in my presentation and my quote unquote closed-mindedness and my combative spirit and my rebellious nature and my crazy personality.
But these are all
and
things
my
that you claim
crazy
to relish
thoughts.
in, like you enjoy.
I do
it.
relish in being rebellious. I do relish in being.
All right, now we call you rebellious. We just using words.
That's not a negative term. To be rebellious is not negative.
Oh,
Agreed.
So I don't believe that it's negative to be relish in being rebellious. I don't think that it's
depending on the context.
Depending on. Okay. I see
curious.
I see far more positive instances of rebellion than negative.
Mhm.
So I don't think that it's negative for me to relish in rebellion or being rebellious or whatever.
Fighting,
Or
being
being a
rebellious for the sake of civil rights, positive. Being the rebel South, negative.
Right. I said I see far more positives.
Got you.
I mean, anything can be whatever you make it.
True.
So do I think some of it is true? I mean, yeah, I think some of it is true. I don't really think it bothers me as much as people think it bothers me.
Mhm.
But I just know that people don't know that they're doing it to me. Pause. So I say it.
I was so locked in, I didn't even think about the pause until you said the pause. But I'm glad you said it, because he was going to have a field day.
I
with
wasn't.
it.
Mm-mm. No, I'm just letting you know.
No, so
I'm
that's
listening.
why I legitimately asked the question. What is it going to take, or what do I potentially need to change in order for people to I guess stop misinterpreting my speech when having a conversation
Mhm.
about stuff? Because like we said earlier, oftentimes people feel like I'm in disagreement about what they're saying, but I'm objectively talking to them about the situation, where you more so are talking to me from a lens of feeling and understanding and And when you say that you're all the way at the end, most of the time I'm already at the end. I hear your feelings. I validate that they may be real for you. But now what? So what? You got the feelings. They happened. We all have feelings. What happens now? Is that going to be the roadblock to whatever it is that you need to do moving forward? Is that going to be the thing that stops you from making the progress that you know you need to make? Is that the excuse or crutch that you're going to use for the rest of your life for why you can't have or live life to the fullest extent? I talk about life from a stance of freedom all the time. So I'm objectively speaking from the lens of I want people, meaning everyone, to be free and live as free as possible. You can't live as free as possible if you're living in your feelings, which are all temporary. Feelings change all the time. Things I felt about certain things when I was early in my 20s, I don't feel the same about now in my late 30s or whatever it may be. So I don't live in the state of the feelings that you may be in right now, because that could change.
Mm-hmm.
So then when I'm speaking to you, it's not to invalidate the feeling or the lived experience that you have. It's the lens of Melvin wants you to be free. So what is it going to take you to be free? And I see what you need to do, or the small pivot that you can make to be free, but you see me as the barrier to your progress, or you see me as the villain in the story that you're sharing, because I'm not agreeing with your feeling in the moment, or I'm not showing as much empathy to the feeling that you have right now. And that is more so what you want from me. But I'm like, I'm not even on this moment. I'm all the way at the end. I'm talking to you about the end result, not the current state that you in right now. So that's what I feel like is misinterpreted with me with the conversations that I have with people, and why I said it comes off as hatred or closed-minded or defensiveness. And I'm like, I'm not being closed. I'm being objectively open to what it is that you're sharing with me, and I see a path forward for what you're sharing. It don't look like what you want it to look like because it involves some difficulty and it involves you maybe taking on some stuff that you don't want to deal with. But I'm not against what you're saying. I'm more for what you're saying. I'm trying to help you get to what it is that you're trying to get to. And because I may have a different disposition about testicular fortitude or whatever it may be, I'm sharing this in a way that I'm hoping is empowering you to be able to say, man, F that, forget that. I don't got to live by that. I don't got to live by those rules. Just because you said it don't mean I got to do it. That's the part that I think is missing from people when I give information or when I have a conversation and it comes off passionate, because I am passionate. It's urgent. Mm-hmm. I live a life of urgency. So when I see this situation, I'm not looking at it not that everything is an emergency, but to me, this is urgent and we need to deal with it. So I'm not trying to be as steady a lot of the time. I'm like, all right, urgently, you need to take this seriously type of thing. So I think that gets misinterpreted a lot of time when I'm having conversation or when I'm sharing information about stuff that's presented to me. So that's why I ask legitimately, what is it that makes you all feel like I'm at such a disposition about what's being shared that I'm so close-minded?
Well, I was just speaking on the subject matter from the previous episode. But for me, it's not that you are closed-minded all the time or from a large scale. It's more so in the moment of the conversation, it was very closed-minded in the responses. The responses to what was being stated was like, nah, that ain't it. Or I don't, again, you can disagree all day, but the response was so swift. It was like, did you even hear what was stated? So if you were coaching me on life and you led with, I hear you, but I'm going to get you to the conclusion that you want, that's a totally different response from who you're giving that information to than the alternative to that, where it does seem like now we got to have a debate. So I'm still explaining myself, you still explaining yourself. But if this is the end goal, and like you just stated, I'm open, I want to empower you to get there, etc. That's different than what you present sometimes.
All right. I'm legit just listening right now. That was like a legit question.
Yeah, that's why I answered it in that way. But I don't want you to take like, we always think you closed-minded. Well, like, nah, ain't nobody got time for that. Like, well, listen, nah, that ain't the case.
Listen, man, if you do one thing one time, you always gonna be classified as that.
Right.
And that's the sad part.
Right.
Our brother show up late one time to a recording session, and now I'm always late.
You
do be late.
I was
You do be late.
I was late one time egregiously, which I will admit that it was egregious. 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying? But who doesn't have an extra 30 minutes in their life? You feel me? So, I understand that, but now I'm always late. But I beat the both of y'all to the studio.
You didn't.
I did.
You didn't beat
twice. Me? You was outside. I was already inside.
Was here, though.
Technically, I'm in. If you did the majority of the race and you stopped at the line, but I went through it.
No. Here is the line. I was here, so I beat you. Number 2, you have all the equipment.
He do. Right. So we can't even get started without him.
Y'all
so you can't be last.
You could have broke down the
which we've done when you were late
plenty
other
of times.
And I appreciate that. No, see. And this is how it's always gonna be. So as much as you trying to change and you show up the last 3 times on time, if not early, people always gonna look at you in the same light. That's really unfortunate. But so I honestly, bro, it takes a lot of time. I'm even finding in my marriage a lot, like I take it upon myself to address issues, make changes about myself to make sure I'm serving my wife a whole lot better than what I previously had the day before. I always make sure I do that, or make an attempt to do that. However, if I did something some few years ago and that was a huge issue, it's tough for me to. It's tough for my partner to move past that because her mind is still back then, where it happened a few years ago. So I honestly, and this is one thing that I wrestle with, and I appreciate your question because I wrestle with the concept of a person is always going to be who they are, and that's not the case.
No.
So many times, I was even reflecting upon this as I was when I was pulling up today. You had said on multiple occasions on multiple podcasts, I be hearing what y'all saying. I'm applying it to my life. And I'm like, he's actually making change. Didn't he? I was like, well, as much as he pushes back upon us, he really does hear the things that we actually say.
Man, you can't even listen around here. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's the way that it's your posture was on.
And just like with Lace, he can't get past being the dentist. No menace, no relation to Dennis.
I'm literally listening to you.
No, this is what
your listening skills are not presenting.
This is what you.
So that's your perception.
No, that's what you physically doing.
Because you want me to feel how you want you.
Man, look, I don't know what.
And you can't, and it's hard for you to move away from that, from the perspective. So, honestly, bro, people gonna look at you the way they're gonna look at you.
They do,
and you just gonna have to do what you got to do to. You can hear what they're saying as far as like making the changes and things like that. To be quite honest with you, I hate to say this, they may not. People who are not as close to you, they may not even pick up on those changes. But as long as you know that you're making them changes, then that's all that really matters.
Yeah, that's real.
That don't really bother me.
Real.
So I just be asking. Like I legitimately be asking. And it's going to come with pushback. It depends on the situation. If I just grab it from the beginning, never mind. It depends on the situation if I just accept the information that's given to me right away. But I'm going to ask questions. Like I'm going to get to the root. It may, come off as passionate or combative or whatever it is, but it's more so to, like you say, be inquisitive. I'm asking questions. Most of the time, if you listen, I'm more asking questions than telling anything, trying to get as much, information as possible. So I'm not necessarily trying to change for the collective, but like I said, being free, like realizing that there are barriers that I may have because of my approach or because of my posture or because of whatever. And if I'm trying to really get to what I'm trying to get to, what could I change to, blah, 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 instead of just sitting back and waiting. So that's why I asked. But I'm going to start asking Troy instead of Lace.
That's cool. That's cool.
And that's what I can't understand about Lace, man. Because Lace will sit up there and give you a very thought out dissertation or thesis on something. And it was like, oh, that was really good. But then he hit you with the, okay, all right, okay. That's very interesting. You go from fully invested to checked out that quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a checked out. I'm letting you ruminate over what was stated.
And now I'm ruminating.
See.
Hey, man, let's go home, man.
We didn't talk about nothing that we did.
Well, you had your counseling session. I mean, that's what you wanted to have.
It wasn't that I wanted to have a counseling session. It was just you made a statement that made me ruminate. So
that's what I do. That's what I do.
So then I asked a follow-up question to get conversation going.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fine.
No good.
And this has been the Mainly These podcast, y'all. And until next time, we out.
Yes, sir.